Tomorrow starts the many of camps that is going to be happening. So in today's video, we're going to kind of talk about the rookie mini camps that are starting tomorrow. We're going to talk about the roster and how we're a little bit above and some moves need to be made. We're going to give you a little updates on things here and there. And yeah, talk about a bunch of things. So let's jump into this. What is up, Finn fans? Hope you guys are having a fantastic Thursday. One more day, and then the weekend. Tomorrow, Friday, starts the rookie camps for the Miami Dolphins. Some teams have already started the previous weekend. It's a 3-day thing. It's tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. Kind of sucks that they have to have camp on Mother's Day, but I'm pretty sure they'll figure it out and probably get out of camp super soon. So like I said, we are going to be talking about that, get you guys situated on that, the roster size and things that need to happen, this and that, how much it's going to cost to pay the rookies. I got all that details for you, but there are some other things that I do want to talk about. So this one here, Tyreek Hill had a second surgery. Let me clean this up for you guys. Tyreek Hill had a second surgery on his hand. Now, at first, I was like, why? Why did he have a second surgery on his hand? And then some people are like, who? What are you trying to get at? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I'm literally asking why. What happened, blah, blah. Essentially, the first surgery he had, this second one is to get the pins removed. And the screws removed from his hand. So it's nothing to worry about. Again, you're not going to see him till training camp. Even if he didn't have a second surgery to get the pins removed from his hand, or I don't even really, it is a surgery because, it was a medical, he had to be put under yada yada, but it was more of a procedure. You weren't seeing him till training camp anyway. Nothing there to really worry about. Then there's this. So Teron Armstead went on Chris Sims' podcast, and they asked him about the whole Tyreek Hill situation. And this is what Teron Armstead had to say.
That's the thing. And I want you guys to hear me loud and clear.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill is extremely intelligent.
Right.
He loves and knows how to get engagement. And he loves to try. He could have, I promise to you guys.
Yeah.
Him and Tua might have been sitting next to each other.
Right.
While he's saying his top 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks.
Right.
Like Reek maybe never even seen Baker Mayfield play. He's a smart guy.
He just knew that'll do that. Right. Okay.
Let's you know what? I'm bored. Let me get him going.
Yeah.
And look, we're talking about on the Chris Sims Unbuttoned podcast.
He's made it, right. He's a South Florida showman, and there's a lot of them down there. The South Florida guys, man, they know how to turn, show up when the lights turn on. All right, last one about the Dolphins, I swear.
Okay.
But how do you think they change it around to get this aura away of like, oh, they're not tough, they're not gritty enough, whatever it is, right? I mean, what's something you could now on the outside looking at you could say to maybe Mike McDaniel or somebody there to go, hey, maybe we should try this or something like this to make us tougher down the stretch?
It's no word. The toughness thing is crazy. I had never had any association with lack of toughness.
Yeah.
So that I kind of like was numb to. I didn't even hear that. Like that ain't.
Right.
That's not even a part of nothing. We are a tough team. We have been a tough team. We've seen come down in training camp, joint.
So essentially, did the politically correct thing, saying essentially like, oh, he's just blah, 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 this, and that. I'm going to talk a little bit, I think, next week about Tua Tagovailoa and kind of the situation, because Omar Kelly said something very interesting on our show Tuesday, the Dolphin Collective, about what's going on with Tua and all this other stuff. So I might, address that come next week, because again, this weekend I'll be covering the rookie mini camp, and then later today on the Dolphin Collective, we will be doing Q&As. So if you haven't yet, come hang out at 7:30. We'll be live from 7:30 to 8:30. But yeah, it is what it is. I just wish Tehran was still with the team, because that's the leadership right there that we need. Like how Tehran Armstead essentially was just like, it's nothing, blah blah blah. I wish somebody else would come out and say that that's still with the team, but it is what it is. So let's jump into the rookie and all that stuff. So the Dolphins have actually added another undrafted free agent. This is from Barry Jackson, and they're continuing search for bulking run stuffers on their defensive front. The Dolphins have added a fifth defensive lineman, Tehran Rebecca, absolutely butcher it, Rybka. I feel like that's Rebecca. A productive defensive lineman at Kentucky agreed to a deal as an undrafted rookie that includes $10,000 guaranteed, according to a source. He became the 16th undrafted rookie to sign with the Dolphins. None have been announced as of midday Wednesday, which is kind of crazy. He is a 6'4", 310 pound, reportedly weighed 284 at the Wildcats Pro Day. He played in 48 games, started 25 times in 4 seasons for the Wildcats. He had 95 tackles, 11.5 for a loss, 5 sacks, and a forced fumble. He started 12 games last season, finished with 34 tackles, including 5 for a loss, 3 sacks, and a forced fumble. So Barry also talked about Sealer and Brewer. Dolphins will be holding weekly Zoom sessions with players this month, and Sealer was asked to address the team's tardiness issue and what the Dolphins say is a mutual decision to try to trade cornerback Jalen Ramsey. Asked if he agrees with the Dolphins saying they trade Ramsey's the best for both parties. He said, Ramsey's a great player. Everyone knows that. We have done what he has done is nothing but amazing. That's not my decision, not my realm. I don't know what happened there. I look forward to the best for both parties. Referring to Ramsey and Arizona Cardinals Calais Campbell, the bond there, he says it's tough to lose guys of that caliber, 2 great players. Regarding the tardiness problem last season and the team's culture, whether it has improved, Steelers said, if we're going to be here, we're going to be here. We're going to be on time and ready to work, not just halfway going through things. I wonder if he's going to kind of be more vocal and maybe pull people aside if he is noticing that there is a lack of effort and people showing up tardy. So kind of interesting on that front. Over the cap compensation pick said that the Dolphins could get a compensatory pick for 4th rounder in April's draft. Yeah, so the Dolphins essentially could possibly get a 4th with for brain work, please. Javon Holland with Calais Campbell going to Arizona. The Dolphins have announced they will be at their rookie camp this weekend, but Miami Hurricanes players Sam Barron and Zach Carpenter accepted invitations to try out. So did former UM offensive lineman John Campbell, who played 32 games at UM. Among other invitees for tryouts, Rhode Island defensive back Braden Price, Kentucky tight end Jared Casey, Brown tight end Mark Mahoney, West Virginia interior lineman Nick Malone, Jackson State defensive end Philip Webb, and Oregon linebacker Justin Jacobs. So they have a lot of guys coming in and checking things out. The Dolphins wanted BYU cornerback Jacob Robinson in the undrafted rookie market, but he signed with the 49ers. He had 11 interceptions, but Miami is very happy with the 2 guys that they got. The Dolphins have, the Dolphins have deals with 94 players. And we're going to talk about that in 2 seconds, including retired Teron Armstead and guard Baron Matos, who are roster exempts. They will need to make multiple roster moves by the start of minicamp on Friday. The roster limit is 90. So we're going to talk about that, because that is something that is going to be very, very interesting with the way this is going to work tomorrow. But real quick, just give you guys an idea of what the crap happens at a rookie minicamp if you don't know what happens at a rookie minicamp. So essentially the rookies are going to come in, whether invitees, undrafted free agents, or the draft picks are going to come in. They're going to get their playbooks. They're going to kind of go through things. They're going to go through physicals and all that stuff. The Dolphins are going to see, are these guys still in shape? Again, it's not like they'll come in, they'll have their mini camps, and then they go away for a couple months, because OTAs start on the 27th, which is about 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away. So they're going to come in, they're going to get situated, they're going to understand the roles and how things work, and situated with the training facility, where rooms are. Okay, DNs, you're going to be here, corners, you're going to be here. This is the schedule. This is how things are going to work, blah, blah, blah. Essentially get them acclimated to being in the NFL, as well as trying out for the team. Undrafted free agents, invitees. You might have a guy you're inviting in to come for the rookie mini camp or the rookie camp that outperforms an undrafted free agent. Swap. Undrafted free agent, thank you for coming, we appreciate your time, we're gonna release you. And then they have the guy they asked to come in to try out, he makes the roster. So, well, not the roster, but he makes the off-season roster, because again, it's 90. One other thing I want to show before we get into the fact that we're at 94, look at this chart. And this chart essentially shows NFL draft pick age distribution. And look who's all the way at the bottom. So 2025 NFL draft mean pick age of draft night. The Miami Dolphins had the youngest draft down here, and it's by a margin, like by a pretty big margin. They have the youngest draft. The oldest is the Denver Broncos, and then it's like, yep. But look how young it is. And I honestly think that that's because the Miami Dolphins are getting young, because you also saw it in free agency and the age difference between the Dolphins last year and this year. I think the Dolphins have like top 5 youngest teams in the NFL right now, maybe top 8, whereas last year they had top 8 oldest teams in the NFL with, Calais Campbell and the such, Emmanuel Ogbah and all those guys. So the Dolphins are definitely going in a younger, more physical way of doing things, but we'll see if it pans out. So let's go back to talking about the roster, and we're at 94 right now. And if you go on the Miami Dolphins website, you see Teron Armstead still there, right? So that is one name that you can probably scratch off, is Teron Armstead, because we have to get down to 90. We're at 94. So Teron Armstead and Matos. Matos is going to be exempt. I think he's Brazilian or he's from Madrid. I know he's Spanish. He gets the international exempt. And then Armstead retired. So there's 2. So you're down to 92. You got to move on from 2 players to get down to 90 by Friday. It might happen depending on when you're watching this today. That already happened. Obviously, to me, the biggest one and the glaring one that I don't understand why it hasn't happened yet is Jake Bailey. They brought in Stonehouse. If you're bringing in Stonehouse and you're signing to a contract, and Stonehouse has statistically done better than Jake Bailey, you just move on from Jake Bailey. And that also saves you $1.9 million. 1.975, but it's almost $2 million moving on from Jake Bailey. That should be a no-brainer. Jake Bailey is released. You're down to 91. And then you're in a situation where you're looking at the team thinking to yourself, where else can we move on from? You got a lot of corners and DBs. Obviously, we need a bunch of them, but like you have guys that probably won't make the roster. You can even go at wide receiver. Like you have a ton of wide receivers, and Tariq Black, D. Estridge, Arguzakama. These are guys that you could probably move on from. And if they move on from Eric Uzakami, you save $1.1 million. They probably won't, because he was a 4th round draft pick. But there's a guy, you have to find someone that you have to move on from. Plain and simple. Like they won't touch safeties. We only have 5 of them. They won't touch running backs. We have 4 of them on the roster. And again, you're bringing UDFAs in. You're not going to tell one of them, hey, don't come in. You know, you tried your hardest to get them to come in. They have to find somebody on this roster that they feel comfortable enough to move on from. Blake Ferguson, the long snapper. You're bringing in an undrafted free agent long snapper. You got to move on from one other person. I honestly think it's going to be Jake Bailey, right? I think Armstead's retirement is going to go through. You have Gross Matos, who again is roster exempt, and then Jake Bailey. So you're at 91. They got to figure out who's that one. Who's that one? Maybe one of the pass rushers. Like a William Bradley King. Like, you know, it sucks me sitting here being like, yeah, this guy should go. But someone's got to go. And it's got to happen by tomorrow. So to me, the no-brainer is Jake Bailey. Then they got to figure out that one other guy to get us down to 90. And then things will probably move. You know, not all of the invitees are going to make the team, obviously. Maybe not all the undrafted free agents will make the team. That's essentially what this weekend's for, to see the undrafted free agents, who stands out, who doesn't, who's like, all right, well, now I see why you didn't get drafted. Again, no disrespect. And then will probably go down to like 86, 85, and then you can add some more players. Again, free agency pool and all that stuff. I think that's what you'll also start to see next week. Because again, next week the schedule comes out, but then I think you'll start to see the Dolphins sign some players to get ready for OTAs. That's probably what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks. And one other thing I do want to talk about before we get out of here, actually 2 things, because the last one's kind of funny. The rookie contracts. And I know some people are like, do we have enough money? I think we're at 17 million in cap space. How much do we need for the rookies, to pay all the rookies? It's only a $4.8 million cap hit to pay all of our rookies. Total, it's going to be about 11.5 million. So it's not that much you really need to worry about or, you know, stress about, like, hey, how are we going to sign? So like I've said, you know, I want Asante Samuel Jr. and also give me a result Douglas. And how are we going to sign all these people if we got to sign our draft picks? There you go. Draft picks are only 4.8 million. And the last thing I want to talk about, and it's funny, if you're new to the channel and you subscribed recently, I used to do comment of the day where you would comment below and I would answer your question. I am going to bring it back. I promise you I'm going to bring it back. And I always did it at the end of the video. You know, I'd say, you know, leave a comment or, you know, ask a question or whatever, but just put comment of the day so I could search it, and then I would pick it to be comment of the day. I'm going to bring it back, but this one made me laugh so hard. So this is from the Kurt Warner video where I was like, the fact that I was breaking it down and then I would play it and Kurt Warner would say it very similar to me, that I was like, wow, apparently I'm a Hall of Fame quarterback. This guy said, if Katy Perry is an astronaut, you're a Hall of Fame quarterback. This made me laugh so hard when I first read it. Charles, it was a great comment. So you are the inaugural comment of the day, bringing it back. So yes, if you want to be part of comment of the day, I will try to, like, I don't think I'll do it this weekend because I got a lot of cover in the rookie mini camps. But if you want to be part of comment of the day, just, you know, comment of the day and then leave your comment. It doesn't have to be a question, it could just be a comment, and I will pick one for probably next week's video. But that one made me laugh pretty hard. So shout out to you, Charles, for a good comment. But other than that, I'll see you tomorrow. First day of rookie mini camps, or just rookie camp. Is it mini camp? Whatever. I'll see you tomorrow. Like usual, stay classy. And fins up.